Hey, welcome back. I'm going to talk about something that I really haven't talked about, and some people probably really don't even notice this, but there are gold standards for rifled cartridges here in the United States. And when I say gold standards, it's everything is compared to them. And for good reason. They're darn good cartridges. Now, I'm not going to sit here and rank them or whatever by my opinion, but I am going to give you some pretty good facts. Okay? And these facts are going to help you out. I think I trimmed my mustache cockeyed. Nice. Okay. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them. Okay? 6 cartridges that are gold standards in their own categories. And we're about to find out why. Let's start out with the 30-30 Winchester. Okay. A lot of deer have been shot with it. Zillion rifles been made in it. But why is it the gold standard? Well, when you take and put a straight-walled cartridge or a lever cartridge, especially a lever gun cartridge because of the Winchester 94 and the Marlin 336 and all these new trapper versions and stuff like that, and the CVAs and stuff like that, single shots. 30-30 is where a lot of it began. So, just for shits and giggles, let's look at it. Take the 30-30. Well, what do we compare it to? Well, 350 Legend, 730 Waters, if you remember that one, 35 Remington, even a 45-70, even though it's a straight wall cartridge. So, yeah, it's a gold standard. A lot of stuff is compared to a 30-30 in that category. Now let's go in a complete opposite direction. 243 Winchester. 243 Winchester, how can that be the gold standard of anything? Well, if you look at it, 243 is based off the 308 case, which also gives the 308 a good case for, being the mother cartridge of other successful cartridges, such as the 7mm 08. But back to the whole 243 thing. 243, 6mm, .244, all the same deal, no matter how you want to wrap your head around it. What do we compare it to? Well, you're going to compare it to the new 6mm Creedmoor, the 6mm this, the 6mm that. There was the 6mm Remington, that was out. That kind of went over like a lead fart because of not having the right rifling twist for the heavier bullets. But again, 243, it's a gold standard when you get to that size. Now here's one that's it's basically a dead cartridge. You could still get some ammo here and there for it, but nobody really shoots it anymore, and I don't even know if there's a rifle still chambered in it. It's the 264 Winchester Magnum. That's right, 264 Winchester Magnum. Gun writers gave it a bad name because they were worried the throats of the rifles were going to burn out. What the average guy shooting, never going to happen. Never going to happen. They're never going to shoot tens of thousands of rounds through a gun. But all these new 6.5mm cartridges that come out, 6.5 Creedmoor, 6.5 PRC, 6.5 284, 6.5 300 Weatherby, all that stuff, it's all judged against 264 improvement. There's no doubt about it. That is the gold standard when it comes to a 6.5. Everybody's looking to either improve upon it or equal it. Now, come to the 30 caliber. It's easy. 30-06, gold standard of 30 calibers. Pretty close to the do-it-all rifle. When something comes out in 30 caliber, yeah, they're looking at it and saying, how's it compared to the 06? That's the first comparison somebody's going to want to make. Then we come to the Magnum cartridges, and there are 2 of them that people are going to compare with. Think about it. You've got this new 7mm backcountry coming out, 7mm PRC, all this other stuff. Who do you think they're going to judge it against? You're not going to judge it against the 7mm 08. They're going to judge it against the 7mm Remington. And then when it comes to Magnums, it's the 300 Winchester. Not only have they tried to duplicate it with the 300 Winchester short Magnum, but when you're talking about Magnums, 99% of the time you're comparing it to that. So there's my argument for these calibers being the gold standards in deer and big game rifles in the United States. Tell me if I'm wrong.